Well, good morning or afternoon or whatever it is. My name is Wayne Woods, and I used to be only an outside worker. I used to be Group Two. I don't know what they call it now. Um, I've done pretty much everything at the post office. Well, except in the union. Never been a supervisor. Never will. Asked many times, and I said, I don't like meeting with you, so why would I want to be with you all the time? So, anyhow, I got that out of the way, and they still ask because they want to get someone that knows something out. They want to get you out, and once you're in, you put you off to supervisor hell, wherever that is. Anyhow, the thing I'd like to talk about today is how much the employer appreciates you and what they do on the work floor. And you might not see it because you're kind of focused. I got to get her done, and I got to go home early, and I got to do all this stuff. And how many flyers am I having tomorrow? And you get all that in your brain. Your brain gets filled with stuff, right? The one thing you have to do is there's a clock in your head, and you always want to beat the clock, and you'll never beat it because they keep moving the hands on the clock. So anyhow, I'm looking down because I got notes here. Retirement. You ever see those retirement parties on the floor when the managers come to the station and struggle to figure out who the guy is that's worked for? That is one of my best employees, Mr. I'll never forget what's his name because he used to do a lot for us. I don't know who he is. That's what happens when you retire. So look after yourself, not them. They don't give a damn. Let's get that clear. So one thing is, Canada Post used to have this. I don't know if they still have it. It was a LCRMS or something. It was a manual on what supervisors' budgets were, and it was like they have a budget. When they had a pretty good budget for gas cards, right? They'd have gas cards, and when you were a good little boy or girl, they'd hand you a gas card. Here's a gas card for $20. Well, guess what happened? After a while, you didn't see gas cards because some of the people that were up the scale a little bit were gassing their own vehicle because it doesn't record your license number. It just records that it was spent. So anyhow, that didn't work out too well for people. But it would take more than $20 to buy me, let's say, and it probably couldn't buy me at all, anyways. I don't know. So anyhow, this is what happens with these programs. They say, okay, you know what? Gas card will soften people up a little bit. And then we move in with the donuts and pizza. And it's pretty cheap. And it was in the manual. The best thing that to do with employees for a treat is to buy pizza and donuts. It's cheap and they'll love you for it. It's like, what the hell? I can't afford to go out and buy a $1.50 slice of pizza. Come on. That's ridiculous. Anyhow, so they had that. And they got cutbacks or fun keychains, pens. Oh, here's a Canada Post pen for doing such a great job today. Congratulations. Thank you. That's what you get. Trinkets. I'm going to get right down to the point. Never mind all these awards and everything. I got my at the time I got my 30-year pin. I just did a box here somewhere. I never wore it. I don't need to be those kind of trinkets. And then they had what did they have after that? It was really weird. Oh yeah, so they had a watch. I got a watch for, I don't know what it was, 25 years of service at one point. And as soon as they gave it to me, I took it over to the time book and put a notice that there was an auction. Highest bidder gets the watch by noon or whatever it was the next day. And I think I made $50, $60, $70 and gave it to search and rescue and when I was working in Courtenay, BC. The supervisor and the manager told me I can't do that. And I said, I can do whatever I want with a gift you give me. Once you give it to me, it's mine. So I don't want to wear it. I don't want anything to do with it. I think it's a cheap reward for somebody. Keep your watch. But someone else got it and seemed to like it. So who knows? Might have been a suck up. I don't know who it was, but they liked it. That's the way it goes, right? They give you these little things once in a while, but you're paying for them out of your pocket by agreeing to ridiculous things. So, and by running. Running is where they make all their money on the external groups. You notice before you move into negotiations, oh, we are so broke. We don't have any money left. They funnel money off to future growth projects that they never do. So there's pots of money all over the place. You have no control over where that goes, as long as they're honoring the collective agreement. And then when they get to that point, well, we've got all our money, it's in future growth, and it's in renovations of the stations, which they never renovate. All this stuff, it's all out there. We're broke. And then you agree to something, a cutback, and then they slam you with all this automation crap, which they spend billions on. So, it's an old tale. It's been around since, as far as I can remember, 1981. Same routine. You could probably predict it. Dog and pony show, they call it. Anyhow, so one thing I want you to watch out for is fireside chats. When they say, come on in the office, we'll have a little chitty chat. And your answer should be, yeah, I'll bring my steward. Because they'll tell you, I don't want your steward. It's just me and you, mano a mano. We'll have a discussion. And then something you say in that meeting, because they want to get it out of you by relaxing you, incriminates you, and exactly what date, what time you did something, or someone else did something. And then they move in for the kill with suspensions, 24-hour notices. It's never a friendly chat. You might think it is, but to them, it's siphoning stuff out of you. So avoid those things. If they call you in for a one-on-one chat, pretend you're a shop steward. You should never meet alone with the boss. So individuals shouldn't meet alone with the boss because they want something. So why would they say, hey, you don't need a steward? Yeah, you do need a steward. When they say that, you do need a steward. And they can keep a record on you. It's like the guy, you go into the office and the guy goes in and he says, oh, you're in trouble because there's somebody that complains. People complain all the time about you, and I don't know what we're going to do about it. And the guy's in there by himself, or a guy or girl, or a woman or man or whoever, and they're saying, oh, well, I better watch out then. And they say, yeah. No, when you have a steward, the steward says, okay, who are the people complaining about this person? What dates were they? Oh, I don't know. Well, who were they? I don't know. So it never existed. Oh, sure it did. Well, you have no evidence of anything. It's ridiculous. Let's just get out of this meeting. And that's the way it turns out. So you always have to have a rep with you when you go in. You never meet alone. It's not one of those companies where you can just go in and say, how's it going with the kids and everything? No, it's not that. They've always want something from you. You have to understand that. So fireside chats, nasty. Snitches, the boss loves snitches because the snitch thinks he's going to get something from the boss. And they think, oh, maybe when a promotion comes up, or, like you want to be a supervisor, or maybe all the jobs in the group are by seniority, so you can kiss that goodbye. But being invited as a supervisor, why would they want a snitch as a supervisor? 2 reasons they don't want to snitch. Because one, if he'll snitch on his coworkers, he'll snitch on his coworkers, which are now supervisors. So they don't want that. The other thing is, they're more valuable to the employer being a snitch on the floor, listening to your conversations, than they are having him in as a supervisor. So snitches, they self-explode. They realize, whoa, wait a minute, I've been used. I've been suckered. All the people don't bother with me anymore in the station. I better kind of pick a new path of behavior. So that's the way snitches work out. Favoritism, I have never been punishing anybody or even talking to them about favoritism. Favoritism can't really exceed the collective agreement. So, the supervisor might overlook this or overlook, my favorite, just keep snitch. It's part of the snitch thing, I guess. The favoritism is given to people. They don't ask for it. You don't go in and say, can I have some favoritism? No. They start treating you better than the other. And the reason for that favoritism is, it's as old as slavery. You give one person more than the next, and they want it. And then it starts the fighting. That's what it's all about. The day you recognize that will be a very good day for you. So this is what happens with that. Harassment on the work floor. Subtle harassment from the boss a lot of times. But take notes. Always take notes. When you end up saying, oh, he was after me all the time. When? You got the date. It only takes a moment. You can put it in your phone and note to self and say, oh, today is whatever date, and this is what he said to me. You don't have to record it. You have to keep a diary. And if you don't have a diary to if you're being harassed, if you're just normally putting your head down and moving on and they leave you alone or whatever, but there are people they don't want there because they usually have friends that have gone casual and they're next on the list. The last place I worked, it was like, I don't know. I mean, they tried to harass me. It didn't work out well. But this was like when I retired, the station I retired in. So what happened is that these people, I guess they end up harassing over health, harassing over sexual orientation. Pick a reason to get people fighting with each other. That's what they do. So they, I don't know about you, but I'm a little concerned about that. And then you go, oh yeah, if the boss is concerned, I must be concerned. It's all psychological warfare on you. Worker on worker harassment is not acceptable anywhere. If you've got a beef with someone you work with, after work, take it outside. You want to beat each other up, go for it, call each other names. But me or anyone else doesn't have to listen to that crap. If you want to what happens is they start into this, oh, you're this, you're that, and then the next thing you've already gets into racial remarks and sexual remarks and then the boss moves in there. So he kind of sits back because he's scared. He doesn't know what to do. They're cowards, right? So they sit back and they wait until the two of you get into a belly to belly pushing and punching and whatever. And then he comes in and suspends the both of you. And he has a legal right to. So the both of you end up in trouble when you could have just been out of the workplace and called each other names out there. Go out in the smoke pit or whatever and call each other names. Kind of childish. Harassment, there's people that harass, let's say people that are in the human rights group, like sexual orientation, color, Aboriginal, they make comments, right? Grow up. You're in a world where you say, oh, I don't like immigrants. Well, you know what? You're an immigrant. People that owned this country were the Aboriginal people. How do you think they felt when these people started coming in and taking over the country? Well, you know what? That person, first of all, is an equal partner in Canada, an equal partner in your work floor, and no matter who they are, it's the harassment thing is disturbing because when people go from, let's say, Ontario to Quebec, they feel like they're odd man out or odd woman out because everyone's speaking French and they don't. It's not harassment, but it's just a feeling, So be nice to the people you work with. Share some meals with them. What are you eating? Let me try some of that. I've never tried it. People from different parts of the world. My grandmother is from a different part of the world. My great-great-great-grandfather from in 1740 was in Quebec, Stansted, Mégon, Quebec. So I have a lot of roots here. But do I go around saying, oh, this, you can't, you don't belong here? And you don't need that crap. Save it for outside, just like the other stuff. Save it for outside. You can even phone them and threaten them. How's that? And then the police can come talk to you. So that is just when you're harassing someone who's struggling to defend themselves. Even, the people that go out and see a gay kid on the street and want to beat him up. What does that make you feel? Manly? You go and beat up a kid? Oh, I'm such a man, I can go beat up a kid. You know who the man is? Or the strong person is the person that gets dressed every morning, has their breakfast, heads out the door, only knowing that they're going to be harassed or picked on or mocked or mimicked and everything else. Those are the brave ones. Not you guys that roll up your sleeves and want to threaten people and bully people. So I guess you can tell I have a big problem with that issue. No place for it in the workplace. And I think that was about it. The worker on worker harassment is very important. It kind of goes with the harassment and the favoritism because it's all meant to divide you. And I can tell you from experience, what I have seen with these eyes in my 35 years is frightening, okay? And they usually end up in suspensions, firings, and they stay fired. So I'm telling you now, be nice to each other. This business of, politically correct, there's no such thing as, what the hell does that mean? Politically correct. Doesn't mean anything. What it is being nice to each other. You're both Canadians. You're both postal workers. whoever you're harassing, you're both on the same footing. I don't know why you think you're superior. So you will end up fired. And the thing, besides those kind of things, what these are asking, any union rep, I never discuss anything that was said to me in private or any things I was involved in. So I can just tell you, frightening. You think everybody's, oh, it's so nice in here, we're all friendly and everything. Frightening. So let's remember this. We didn't hire people. Canada Post did. So if there's a person in the work floor, you're going, oh, look at that union member. Well, we didn't hire them. Canada Post should have known some of this stuff before they got them. So we don't as a union hire them. It's only the condition of employment to sign a union card. We don't have no input in the process. So when they get in trouble, we didn't hire them. We just represent them. So smarten up, guys and girls. Sorry, men and women. It's a serious problem, and it has been as long as I can remember. And people feed into it, and they think it's kind of makes them tougher and everything, but it's not. It's just going to lead you down a road to post office hell. So have a great day, because I am, and keep your head up and do what you have to do. But the best thing is to come in, work, go home, pick a pace that you can work at. Oh, the other thing, this was one thing before I go. Worker on worker harassment, okay? So this all involves snitches and everything else, right? It's all a big ball of stuff. So on the inside group, what you find sometimes is the supervisors will take a particular clerk and just ignore everything they're doing, because they're a snitch, probably. I'm guessing that. So they ignore. So this guy, girl, whatever, they're sorting letters. Oh, this guy. Oh. And then the boss comes along and says, why aren't you picking up the pace? Look at all the mail backlogged, right? So you don't say, oh, it's all his or her fault. It's no. What you do, which covers you, saves you from harm, is you say, okay, let's work as hard as the snitch works, right? So you all work. You're disciplined by the group, unless there's worker on worker stuff. They can only analyze the group to find out where problems are with production. So anyhow, so you work as hard as the person you're with, and then the boss comes over and has to talk to all of you equally, right? So the answer isn't going into the office and saying, that guy, it's his fault. No, who cares? If the guy's sorting 3 letters an hour, you sort 3 letters an hour, because they assess the group, not an individual. So the group can be as slow as they want, right? So anyhow, that was the last thing. I'm sorry I interrupted. I interrupted myself, my goodness. Anyhow, you have a wonderful day, and boy, this is a long goodbye. Have a wonderful day, and hope you make it to retirement with all your body parts working and your family intact. And have a great day.